Hi guys, and welcome back to Meccano Creations. So in my last update video I talked about how I wanted to expand the rest of the space I have into this medieval township. So to share this journey I start a new series of videos which I will be uploading as I expand the space. So if you have not subscribed already, then please do so. Now, as part of the medieval township, I had already made this medieval marketplace, and today in this video I have this medieval cottage as well. I built this structure to test out some basic building techniques which I will require in my future projects, and mainly the use of double angle strips to simulate stone structures was the main objective of this project. I think the idea works to a degree and I am satisfied with it, so I would be doing the same for the future builds. I started by visiting Tabletop World and selecting a very basic design which I could build quickly. So I chose this cottage design. It had a nice chimney on the side which would be fun to build as well. Once I laid down a plan on paper, I started with the outer structure and the floorboards. Once this outer structure was ready, I started making the stone patterns using various double angle strips and fixed them in place. Once I was happy with how the structures looked, I started with the paint job for this model. I started by using a medium grey to replicate the stone color. I just spread it all over the structure and let it dry. To add variation, I used various lighter shades of grey on some pieces. This would help add some realism to this diorama and finished it off with a black ink wash. I started then with the wooden frames. I mixed orange and little bit of black to come to this brownish sort of color. I did a couple of coats of this color until I was satisfied by the way it looked. All of the wooden frames and doors were painted this way. After that, I painted the horizontal metal bracing for the door. I made it in the same shade as the stone and then highlighted the studs on top using a bit of silver color. The silver looked a little too bright, so I toned it down with a bit of ink wash. I also then scored the lines between each of the strips on the door and then used some ink to better distinguish each strip. I think each of these steps just add a little bit more detail to your projects. Now for the flooring, I used yellow ochre and another round of ink wash to finish it off. I also thought about the way I lighted up these projects. So one thing I was unhappy with in my earlier projects was how the light used to spill over everywhere. To focus the lighting to just the windows, I had to shut the rest of it through some way. So in this case, I created a simple structure using cardboard and then painted everything black. I measured the inner dimensions of this cottage and then used my craft knife to cut some cardboard. These pieces were then hot glued together. To prevent light escaping to the roof, I covered the rest of it using cardboard as well, but I did it in a way which would still let me remove it to gain access to the inside. I also hot glued the LED strips to these roof panels. The lighting now is just focused on the windows and there is very little leak. Well, this is it for today's video. In the next part of the series, I will talk about these clay accessories which I built for this diorama project. I leave you with a few more visuals of this diorama and I hope you have been enjoying these videos as much as I have been making them. So do post your feedback, share it with your friends and leave a little like to help me out. Thanks, and till we meet again, take care.